Christ was born year 3,999 from Adam. That's the birth of Christ. Interesting. It's very interesting because there are other scriptures that will show you this is huge. Okay? Because it mentions to us, number one, we get to know when he was 12 years old. St. Luke's Gospel chapter 2, verses 41 and 42 tell us that Jesus was 12 years old at a certain time. So what year would that be from 3,999? Cardinal years. And because it's cardinal, what are you going to have? 4,011 from Adam. Then again, the Bible tells us when he was 30 years old. And this is very interesting because he shows us an important link. And that is the 15th year of Tiberius. So let's go to St. Luke's Gospel, chapter 3. We read verse 1 and we read verse 23. Verse 1. Now in the 15th year of the reign of Tiberius Caesar. Now what's interesting is, he says the 15th year of the reign of Tiberius Caesar. Pontius Pilate being governor of Judea and being tetrarch of Galilee. And his brother Philip, tetrarch of Iturea, and of the region of Trachonitis, and Lysianus, the tetrarch of Abilene. So we notice something here. This time, Tiberius is reigning the 15th year. Remember, he shared the throne with Augustus for about 5 years. And then continued to succeed Augustus after his death. Now go to verse 23. He's telling us the same story because he enters John and then enters Jesus. And tells us at this time that Tiberius was in his 15th year, Jesus himself began to be about 30 years of age. Remarkable. Being, as was supposed, the son of Joseph, which was the son of Heli. So that year, from 3,999 is 4,029. So when Jesus was 30 years old, it was the year 4,029 from Adam. There Jesus is 30 years old. Very interesting. Now, when you come into the book of John, John tells us clearly that there were three Passovers. Three Passovers between when Jesus began his ministry at the age of 30. All right? Because that's what we just read. When he told us how Jesus began to be about the age 30, and then goes on to tell us about the beginning of his ministry. Now, John, the apostle, the writer, tells us that between when Jesus started his ministry and when he was crucified, there were three Passovers. One Passover each year. And by the last Passover, Jesus is crucified. After that last Passover. Remember that Passover led into his passion. Okay, so what does that tell us? That he was crucified at age 33. So at 30, the year is 4,029. At 33, the year is 4,032 from Adam. Okay, now that you have understood that, I take you to this place. Again, 15 Tiberius, that means the 15th year of the reign of Tiberius. 15th year of the reign of Tiberius, is placed at 27 AD by the eclipse of the sun records of Rome. Meaning, when Jesus was 30 years old, it's Tiberius' 15th year of reign. And by eclipse of the sun records, the year is 27 AD. Are you following now? The year is 27 AD. And that year 27 AD is the year 4029 from Adam. That is it. So, if you look at his birth here, if he's 30 years old at 4029, 30 years old at 27 AD, it means 30 years down, of course, is 3,999. What would that be in BC? 27 AD minus 30 years is 4 BC. Did you get it? If you add 4 to 27, 4 BC to 27 AD, you will get 30. Why? When you cross over from BC to AD, you remove 1 year. So Jesus was clearly born 4 BC, the year 4 BC, which is 3,999 from Adam. So when was he crucified then? Obvious. From 4 BC to 30 AD, you add both, what you get? 34 minus 1, 33. So he was crucified at age 33. And this is so simple. You somehow wonder, how did they miss it? Praise God. Now, of course, we've just crossed the time limit, and I need to take you to somewhere else tomorrow. We're talking about how important the time is, where we are. If that calculation is right as it is, no estimates. I want you to know this. We didn't have estimates. In fact, in Jesus, about 30, I want you to notice he didn't just say he was about 30 years old. Let's go back to that verse. It's very interesting how he put it. Luke chapter 3, verse 23. I want you to notice what it says. So that we are not allowed to have any expanded range. And Jesus himself began to be about 30 years of age. Began to be. Which means he was not more. He was not more than 30. So you can't say plus or minus. Began to be about 30 years of age. That's very interesting. So even here, where he didn't give you the exact year and months, you're not allowed to go beyond the 30. You come close to the 30, but you can't go beyond. That's wonderful. Wonderful. So much information given to us in the scriptures. You know, to arrive at all of these things, it's all in the Bible. It's amazing. It's all there. It's just all there. And if this is there, as it is, what else might be there? That's what I want to show you the rest of the week. What else might be there? What are the numbers saying? Are these numbers reliable? Absolutely. Yes, now, this is interesting because, when I think about it prophetically, 3,999, okay, from Adam is the birth of Jesus. Yes, what does that tell you? That at creation, from the day of creation of man to Jesus Christ is 4,000.
Yes, sir.
That's amazing. It's mind-blowing. And then think of what we said overall. The 2 days, and which is 2,000 plus the 1,000. That's 3,000 plus 4,000. That is 7,000. And, oh my goodness. That's wonderful. So much to share. And this is why, when you understand where you are in God's calendar, you take your place. You take your place. And I'm saying that the Church of Jesus Christ is not what it was some 10 years ago, some 25 years ago, some 50 years ago. Make no mistakes about it. The church has grown to a certain level. The church is coming to the place of maturity. Things are changing. And why can I even bring you this kind of things? Why? Because the Spirit of God prompted me to bring them to you. I can't even, whether I'm lying down, I'm standing up, or whatever I'm doing, wherever I am, I'm hearing the whispers of God. I'm hearing the whispers of God. Taking me through scriptures. I can't even, naturally from my head, I can't even cope with it. It's like bam, 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 bam. But with my spirit, I capture. I just like that. Why? Because these are the last days. These are the last days. And so he's bringing his word. And things that were not known, things that were not understood, are suddenly getting understood. It is not by might. It is not by power. But by my spirit, saith the Lord. By my spirit. So don't be surprised. Sometimes we share some things and some people ask and say, how come all these things were not known for so long? Well, remember, even the book of Daniel, he said, seal up the book until the time of the end. That's what he said. He said, seal up the book until the time of the end. At the time of the end, it will be revealed. For knowledge, he says, shall be increased. So that's why the mysteries there